Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the Vault Key buff, as well as opening some Vault Keys. So right now is the monthly Vault event, which for basically one weekend, from the Friday reset all the way until the Monday reset for those 3 days. As you can see, 2 days and 18 hours remaining. There will be an increased chance of finding the treasure gnomes, as well as specifically finding Vault Keys from the treasure gnomes. This also increases the chance of finding Vault Keys from treasure gnomes that reside within Vault Keys themselves. But this week in particular, they ended up doing a permanent buff. The main reason for this is, as many of you know, when gnomes first came out, they were pretty much nerfed. Like after a few hours they came out, just because they were giving a little bit more loot than they were initially intending. But in doing so, they never actually rebuffed the Vault Key drop table. So today they buffed the drop table by about 50% or so. As far as the actual drop changes, they made it so there's a higher chance of finding a Cedric Sparklesack. This is all basically related to Cedric himself as far as the buffs. There's a greater chance to get major and minor orbs from the Cedric Sparklesack. There'll be more keys, gold, souls, and diamonds from him whenever you end up killing him out and getting that resource. There's a slightly less chance that you find those resources, specifically keys, gold, diamonds, and souls, but when you do, it's of a higher amount. And they also added one larger 250 gem reward, which I would assume is the highest amount of gems that you can get from getting one of those kills. So basically what we're going to be doing right now is going through all the keys we have. We currently have 9, though of course we can get Vault Keys from Vault Keys, so we'll see exactly how many that'll pan out to be. It's not that great of a collection. There has been some people that have had about 100, 200. There are a lot of people who have collected a lot of keys, that is for sure, but at least this will be a little bit just to kind of see what is up with the new Vault Keys. Make sure to do it on normal difficulty. Difficulty has absolutely zero effect whatsoever on the drop table of the gnomes, so just do it on the easiest possible one. You could easily just do it with a standard Sunbird Rowan double firebomb. If you're really early on in the game, you could try messing around with a few other things, but that is relatively cheap in itself. Basically what you want to do is have the safest quick team possible. Later in the game, you can get away with something like this: Sunbird, Forest Guardian, Ogre, and Firebomb. The reason for all this is Sunbird gives all the damage we need to kill it out, and split damage, basically one-shot it. It counts as a beast, so we can half mana it with Forest Guardian final trait, which gives half mana to all beasts. Ogrin gives 5 stats to all allies, which on its final trait, which includes HP and magic, so that will be able to increase our Sunbird's damage by a 10 damage, essentially. And we have a Firebomb here who's also going to be increased by 5 damage from the Ogrin, and will also be able to go and give us mana immediately off its empowered into 4 explosions. That's very much what we're going to be running here, and what we're going to be running for all 9 the battles. I have yet to ever lose anything on one of these battles, and let's not start. So we'll see. So specifically, the Cedric Sparklesack drop table is what has been increased. Though, of course, it is a standard gnome event, so technically the gnomes have been increased ever so slightly, in that the Vault Key chance off of them is slightly higher right now. So we'll go kill that out, and let's see what we get from the very first one. Let me not skip it. Also, they made a change in the most recent... Whoa! Well, there we go. They also made a change in the most recent patch where... Oh, what was the thing I was just mentioning? Oh, yeah. Every single thing is now under its little category. As many of you may have noticed earlier, whenever you, let's say, this is a bad example since we got all different things, but let's say we got 2 gold values. Let's say we got 4,000 and 2,500 from the smaller gnomes. It would show as 6,500 instead of 2 individual stacks. Now it'll always show up as 4 individual stacks when you do this, even if you get all of the exact same resource. Because before it was a little bit hard to distinguish what each one of them was, but now they all come in separately. We actually got 4 gem keys from one of the smaller gnomes, which is pretty nice. They specifically, I don't believe, got buffed. Only the Cedric did, but still, that's a pretty nice drop. That's their 3rd best. As far as the normal gnomes, their absolute best is a Vault Key. The 2nd best is the 3 event keys, and then it's the 4 gem keys as the 3rd. But anyways, we got a major orb of chaos from the very first one. Well, there's definitely more orbs. That is actually an insanely good drop. I would probably classify that as the best drop or 2nd best drop that you can get off a Cedric Sparklesack. So I don't know if that's above average or if we got lucky here, or if that's just kind of normal. But yeah, major orb off the very first one. The only thing that could possibly be considered better than that is the new 250 gem drop, so I'm perfectly fine with that. So very good so far. Let's keep going. Oh yeah, I forgot we get to open it. So what do we get? Come on, never mind, it's the worst possible drop you can get. Of course. I say that and then we get the worst one. Literally anything other than that would have been good. The orange one is nice. Well, actually, the orange one's the least useful to me. But the blue and purple ones are just insanely good. And of course, we would get a green one. It would troll me like that. Here's the best drop. Never mind, you get nothing off it. A major orb thingy, I think that's only worth like 4,000 or 5,000 souls, even if you used on something that's like not leveled at all. And yeah, that's not really that helpful. You can get that many souls in like 10 minutes, pretty much. Anyways, let's keep going with these and just keep opening every single key and see what we get. So we'll just do that, throw the sunbird down, and it cleans every single time. You might need a double cast that if you're newer. Oh, we got a... Oh yeah, this was the other thing I mentioned on the forum, though they didn't say anything about it, and I do hope they address it in the future. But whenever you get a common off of Cedric Sparklesack, you only get one copy of him, and it's going to take forever and a half to actually get him up. Really wish they would give more than one copy. But yeah, one copy is not that many, to say the least. That is very ineffective. Also, we got the other best drop off or the second best drop off one of the smaller gnomes. 3 event keys, very nice. Glad to see that. We're getting better loot from the smaller gnomes than from the buffed up Cedric Sparklesack. But yeah, they need to do something about these common drops. Even just kind of just removing them, or maybe making like a double drop. Maybe you just happen to get a common on top of whatever the other drop is. These things are so useless when you get them. Yeah, it takes forever to try to get them up, only getting one copy at a time, which was at minimum 3, 5, 10, who knows. Or just given on top of other stuff just randomly. Or maybe just a guarantee one every single vault key. Even if the guarantee gave you a common every single vault key, it would take forever still to get them up, because I think you need the... oh, I forget how many copies you need off the top of my head. Isn't it 190 for a common? Why am I forgetting all of a sudden? But it's a lot of copies. I believe it's 190 if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, let's keep going and see what we get from the rest of our keys. If nothing else, at least we're stacking up a lot of gem and glory keys. It seems to be like the biggest drops we're really even getting. So we'll go throw that in there. That sunbirds us immediately, as to be expected. Throw that in there, and down it goes again. What do we have now? Another one! Stop it! Give me the major orb again or something. And all those drops are pretty useless. Also, this was what I was referring to earlier. You see that we got a gold and then another gold. That's actually the exact example I just gave of 2,500 and a 4,000. As you can see, it's now 2 individual stacks instead of showing as 6,500 gold. So it's easier to tell specifically what each one of your drops are. Of course, you could kind of like figure it out just by doing it inverse, but now it just directly tells you, which is cool. Okay, a little bit of a bad board. Let me actually take these browns off the board just real quick. Get the firebomb down. 1 mana short. Luckily, we cascade that little red over there. And down it goes. Okay, what do we have for the next one? Come on, Cedric. Give us good loots. 1 major orb of chaos again. I'm not getting a single minor one, but please give me not a blue orb. Please not blue. Anything. I mean, not blue. I mean, not green. They seriously just say not blue. Orange, it's not green. I'll take it. Orange is also similarly useless to me, but if I ever make them into power orbs, orange actually is useful. Green's just always useless, though. You would never want to see green under either. Everything is better than the green orb. Well, anyways, let's get into the next one. Just keep doing the rest of them. I still haven't gotten a vault key from a vault key. I've never actually seen that before. I always thought it was supposed to be a glitch, but people have reported getting it from it many times over. Though no, I don't think anyone has reported getting it during this specific one. If you have gotten a vault key, like today, let me know, because I don't know if they've ever removed that yet. I mean, if you got a vault key from a vault, I mean, specifically, let me know. But we'll go and throw that down. I know it's been possible in the past. Not sure if they've ever fixed it or if it is even intended. But there we go. We got a Cedric Sparklesack. Already had him, but we still don't have a mythic, so getting more copies of him is still fine. Though I don't know why they actually buffed the chance of really getting him, because you're going to get him to mythic way before you get those commons upgraded. You'll probably have him to mythic before you have any of the commons even reaching ultra rare, because you would need 15 copies of them to be able to get them that far. So I don't know exactly what the reasoning was behind that. Also, we keep getting that same gold drop to 2,500 to 4,000. Anyways, another copy. Let's keep going with them. I believe that brings us to 3 copies of him. So about halfway there to mythic, though getting him to mythic means almost nothing. So you never know, maybe it'll be a kingdom in the future. They have like, what, 3 or 4 in the vault right now? Yeah, 4, because the 3 commons and then Cedric. Maybe it'll add more in the future. Let me just take that brown just in case something weird happens. Although I believe that's enough damage, and yes it is. Of course, earlier in the game you might need a double cast, but still works out quite nicely. So right here, it looks like he gave us 60,000 gold. Normally, he would only give us about 50,000 gold if he was to drop us a gold drop. So apparently, that was increased by about, what is that, 20% then? Assuming that the normal drop would have been 50,000. But yeah, 60,000 gold, not too bad. Still not the greatest of drops out there, but it's definitely better than getting a common troop or a green major orb thingy. Anyways, let's keep going with them. I don't even know how many more keys I have because this screen doesn't actually show how many keys we have. I think this is our 5th. Definitely lost track by now. But I'll go throw that in there. Get a sunbird, see what we can do from there. We'll go for that. Get the kill. And what do we have here? 100 gems. That is the same drop as before. That hasn't actually changed any. 100 gems is one of his standard ones from earlier. He has like things like 100 gems, 12 gem keys, 10 event keys. Thought they said that they increased it a little bit. Maybe they added additional ones. Like we already know that they added a 251 at a rare chance. But yeah, it's the same amount of gems you would gain earlier. Interesting. But we'll keep playing them out. Wait, does that screen seriously not show you the play again screen? Yeah, it doesn't show you on any of those screens how many more you have. It's the same problem that pets have. This pet rescue thing, nowhere's under the pet rescue does it actually show you how much time is left. I believe they're adding that next patch, but there's a lot of small things like that where all like the newer game modes, it doesn't even, on some of them, it doesn't even show how many you have remaining, which just seems kind of weird. Anyways, we have 2 keys left unless we find another one. So let's go clear this out. I got pretty lucky with 2 major orbs so far. So nothing really good in them, but at least we got them. It is nice to see orbs finally from these, if nothing else. Because before, I haven't gotten a single orb from a Vault Key prior to today. But now we've already gotten 2 majors. And there's a normal Orb of Chaos. Wouldn't that be funny if this one major Orb of Chaos is better than the other 2? It actually would be. If it's purple or blue, this key is actually better. Or this orb is actually better than the major one. But let me see. Come on, blue or purple? Of course it's green. Wow, that loot is bad. The best thing we've gotten so far from him is basically was 100 gems, which still, that's pretty nice. But, not the greatest. And this is our last key unless we get another vault key. So we'll go throw the sunbird down. And unless we get another vault key, that is the end of the line here of all the keys we were saving for a little while. 15 event keys. That is indeed an increase. As I just mentioned earlier, it was 12 event keys before, but now it is 15. What is 14 times 15? I cannot do that in my head. Calculator, go. That is approximately how many gems that is worth, and could be one of his best drops, actually. 15 times 14. Technically, you do 15 times 15. Depends on how you really look at it. But even if you lowball it and do it 14, which is what you get if you buy it in bulks of 50 on the event keys, that is worth 210 gems, or you could see technically as high as 225 gems if you were to go and do it just at its base value. But yeah, at the lowest, that is worth 210 gems. So that's actually not too bad. That's basically like getting the 250 gem drop, except it's specifically to event keys instead of being able to use it for anything. So yeah, that's the best drop we definitely got so far. And nice little improvement on it. Though I can't say that much for the other ones. But no, overall, let's see. We got 2 major orbs. That's definitely much better than before. We got a normal orb, which if that would have rolled on like a purple or blue, that would have been really nice. But yeah, I guess it's pretty good. I still wish they would do something about the commons. I feel like they're really out of place on the Cedric Sparklesack drop table. I don't know why Cedric has the legendary drop on it. Like, that's fine. And even that they increased it is also technically fine. But I don't understand why it isn't the smaller gnomes that don't have all the chances to get commons instead of the bigger one. It just feels really out of place on the bigger guy. But other than that, yeah, I'm pretty happy with what we ended up getting here. Definitely a nice little decent chunk of resources. Still feel like they could do a little buffs here and there, but we'll see what they do with it in the future. Pretty nice that they did do at least this buff to them, which, yeah, as you can see, it's at least a decent amount of resources now. Still feel like the smaller gnomes too could use a little bit of an increase, but of course they have to be really careful with stuff like this, because particularly during these events like this weekend, you can farm a lot of treasure gnomes. If you haven't really found any treasure gnomes before, you will definitely be able to this weekend if you're bothering to grind any out, because they are pretty common. You're likely going to get several per hour. I think our average has been like 10 per hour, though you could easily get like up to 12 to 15 or so. But anyways, guys, that'll wrap it up for this video. If you still have any other questions about anything, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Best of luck, everyone, in hunting your gnomes, and best of luck with the vault keys that you happen to open. Anyways, I'll wrap this up. I'll see you all later. Goodbye, everyone, and have a wonderful weekend.